Christ Haven for Children started over 70 years ago when Homer and Lillian Stedman began bringing in children who needed help, and what they saw then is what we see now. They just had this vision to create a place where they could continually serve kids when they needed them. So they literally went friend to friend, neighbor to neighbor, church to church, and raised the funds to purchase this property out in Keller and begin what is now Christ Haven for Children, and build these homes where they would have house parents come in and take care of as many children as needed them for as long as they did.
I've been a part and coming out to Christ Haven since probably around 1973, 1974 with my grandfather. His name was Cecil Samsel, and saw what they were doing when they got their first adopted children in their own home, and then they quickly outgrew that home and needed to get a larger home. And so he helped them on the financial side get what they needed in order to purchase that home and move into it, which it wasn't too long after that they outgrew that, and then he worked closely with them to start looking for land so that they could build their vision into a much larger organization.
Being a house parent looks a little like being a circus master, I would imagine. It's kind of like a juggling act. It's a little crazy, but it's very blessed work. 70 years is pretty impressive. To get to be a small part of that legacy, I envision kingdom work. I envision, like getting to the end of one's life and you get that well done, good and faithful servant, because the work we're doing here, it matters. And we only get to see a small part of it in the kids' lives, however long we get to impact those lives. But imagining them going out into their lives and the impacts that they get to make, I don't even think we have any clue, really, the legacy that we really are a part of here.
A lot of nonprofits come and go, and Christ Haven being in the community for 70 years is no small feat. I think the reason that we've been able to stay who we are and in the same way that we are is because the vision that was set 70 years ago hasn't changed. The mission is the same, and the needs aren't changing. So while community changes and family changes, one thing has remained the same: families are going to need organizations like Christ Haven.
I think Christ Haven has continued as long as it has for the 70 years because it's had good leadership, it's had great house parents, and of course the children. Everyone that believed in it with the support that they had and provided, and of course you can't do it without the donors. The donors were a huge factor, and they continue to donate because they believe in what Christ Haven does and what it stands for.
The future of Christ Haven is really exciting. I think that, as we know, communities change and needs changed, and one of the things that I think is really amazing about Christ Haven is our ability to be nimble and to respond in that way. Because of partnerships that we've formed with churches and medical professionals and school counselors and child welfare agencies, we know what families are facing and we adjust to serve in that way. And so we've changed some programming along the ways to make sure that we can meet families where they are, and we'll continue to do that.
I think the future of Christ Haven looks a lot like what you see now, but then more of it. Putting in more homes so that we can, help that many more children. That'll enable us to have more staff, have more house parents. I just see a lot of what you see now, and I just see it being a big growth mode as time goes on because of opportunity that we'll have. Great donors continuing to provide and donate what they do, and I believe growth is going to be one of the biggest things.
We do know that the list is longer about kids who need our services, and so expansion and growth is in the future, and we know that we can do it well, and so it's our responsibility to step up and continue to serve families for the next 70 years.